Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. Today, I'm your host, Giovanna Tardarone.
I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahmed.
And today we're going to be talking about empowering self-healing. Can we really, do we really have the power to heal ourselves? Is kind of like the topic for today. And we're going to discuss about really how can we have that perfect connection between the mind, body, and spirit in order for us to create and begin to heal within. So, Ahmed, let's think about from a perspective of, before we get into the healing,
Yes.
what creates the disharmony in our bodies? Let's talk about that.
Well, prolonged negative thinking and a spiritual disconnection. And for a person that does not know how to use their will in the right way. See, if you have the will to change, all things can be changed. Because then
Nicely
you,
said.
yes, because you will definitely go after it. You will hold it as an objective in view, and you transfer it to the subjective side of yourself, which is your higher side of your personality,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll bring about the conditions in order for things to change. Of course, remember just one thing. For a person that keeps on thinking of something negative for a long time, it's like they're reaffirming a certain condition that is not in their favor. When you say it, you're declaring it. By law, your body will respond. It
So,
may
so
go ahead.
just to give an example of that, if someone is saying, I don't feel good, I don't feel good, I don't feel good, knowing it's the truth that they're not feeling well, they're holding themselves from actually getting well. Am I understanding what you're saying?
Absolutely. Let me put it from a different way of understanding. So we both know about health and nutrition, right?
Yes.
So if I would eat something that is harmful, let's say I don't eat proper food, I just want to eat a bag of chips all day long, and I continue having that for like a week or two, what's going to happen to me? I'm going to get sick. Well, a reoccurrence of a negative information changes the mood, and eventually it will change your health condition as well. You're around 85% water. Dr. Emoto did a rice experiment where he grabbed 3 jars and to see what is the effect of emotions over the molecular structure of water. So he filled some of them, like all three of them, with an amount of rice, and then he added water to it.
Mm-hmm.
The test that he conducted is to see how emotions can alter the result of the rice that is soaked in the water. So he went to the first jar, and every night he just would say, I love you, plus emitting the love emotion. The second jar, I hate you. And then the third jar, he just ignored it. After some time, the first jar where he was emanating love, it gave off a beautiful aroma from the jar. The rice was fermenting.
Wow.
The one that he says, I hate you, nothing really much happened. Like it was, you know, uh, not progressing, but it was definitely moving towards the, you know, a declining side, let's
Mm-hmm.
say. And the one that he ignored started to rot.
Okay.
It just started to rot. So if we are 85% water, and if we tap into the right kind of emotions, the molecular structures in our body, whatever is liquid in us, is going to change. It can you can tune into a healing type of energy through the element of life, which is running through all of your veins.
And it's
Water
so
has memory and it responds to emotions.
it's funny you say that because I studied the emotion code. So I'm an emotion code practitioner, and I can tell you that um, if those emotions, especially the negative ones, are still, we call them like the emotions are like little round golf balls that are stuck within your organs and your body. If you don't release those, they actually will affect your body, your organs.
Yes.
And the shift of the energy, the bad energy, if it stays there and for long periods of time, the only way it will manifest and something is wrong from those emotions is when it comes out into the physical body, right? So this is where you have backache, or your stomach hurts or your head hurts. These are, from what I've learned, that energy, which is, emotion is energy in motion. And when there is not an equal flow of energy, consistent flowing, it's because there's emotions, baggage is what we call it, stuck in
Yes.
the body somewhere. And it's
And you,
important to release that.
absolutely. You even get some sort of a contraction behind your left arm, right out near close to the shoulder blade. And
Yeah.
it does get quite painful if you remain on a negative thought that causes you to have some stress.
Yeah. And actually, I just, I wanted to bring this book because this is, if people haven't gotten this book, it's really important to take a look at it because it really talks about how, releasing trapped emotions because it does affect the body.
Absolutely. You know, I remember Bob, or Bob, I think it was, or Earl Nightingale, when he talked about fear, for example,
Oh,
that is also another negative emotion, right?
yeah.
So fear can kill you faster than a speedy bullet. But why do we allow ourselves to dwell on it? There's one reason, and that's ignorance. It's because we don't take enough time to study about ourselves and what we are capable of doing and what we are capable of achieving
Absolutely.
in terms of healing. Your body is a self healing, maintaining mechanism. If you give it the right tools, whether psychologically or material wise, it will take care of itself. But it starts with you.
And it starts within us, right? We
Absolutely.
look for the outside to help us most of the time. But unless we take action first and really go within, and what I mean by that is, whether it's meditation, whether it's through prayer, really understanding and connecting with your heart to really embrace what that other side of you, the higher side of you, is looking for. You mentioned earlier that there's a spiritual disconnect,
Yes.
and
And
Ahmed, I I know I experienced that, and I truly feel now looking back that was why I got cancer. And because I can honestly say that until I got back into connecting spiritually, I've never felt so great.
you know, when I talk about spiritual disconnection, because if you have a spiritual disconnection, you are absent from a very important element, which is called faith. And faith is something that when you genuinely hold on to it,
Yes.
the element of fear cannot survive.
And
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 therefore,
and let's make it clear. I'm sorry if you just brought me something really to mind is we can't be in fear and faith at the same time.
definitely not.
We must choose one. And why be in the state of fear? Because it only takes us down.
Absolutely.
We're being in a state of faith, knowing that God wants the best for us.
God always wants the best for us.
Hmm. It's important.
And they say, like, you don't get sick by design, but you get sick by default. Sometimes people carry guilt. Sometimes people carry resentment, right? Remember, there was a story with Bob Proctor where he was at the airport one time and he had this severe migraine. He used to take a lot of pills. He missed a flight because one man saw him and he said, "What's wrong?" And he says, "I feel I'm going to pass out. I have this huge headache." And he started by taking 1 or 2 tabs, and then he was taking much more than that throughout the day, and it still wouldn't go away. And he said, "I have a flight to catch." And the guy told him, "It's okay. You can catch the next one." Then he asked Bob, because Bob couldn't figure out what was the reason. And he asked him, "Have you forgiven everybody? Have you forgiven in your life?" My father had 3 heart surgeries because he couldn't forgive his brother. Look at it. It affects the heart, right? I'm talking about the emotional heart, but the problem that he had in his physical heart due to not forgiving manifested as such. The body always follows what you are thinking initially for a prolonged time that induces a certain feeling. Your body is emotional. If you don't let that negative charge go, then you're embracing yourself in a negative alignment. You don't want to
Absolutely.
be there.
And sometimes, it's not known that our feelings are attached to our illnesses, but there is a very strong connection to that. And science is also becoming aware of it and sharing the fact that if the mindset is consistently on the negative side and never, looking at there's a possibility of getting better, the body cannot begin to heal. I
No.
always say that it has to start with us. The illness, the sickness, the emotions are all within. And until we clean up the emotions that are hurting us,
Yes.
truly hurting us, and like you mentioned, forgiveness is such a big one.
Yes.
People holding resentment for certain things that happen in their lives are actually causing them not to be well. So how
You
could
know,
we expect something on the outside of us to heal us when the problem is really within us?
unless you release the thing that is holding you back from experiencing grace or from experiencing harmony, there are 3 things that have helped me throughout my life. One is forgiveness. There were times that I felt that the thing that I couldn't forgive was too larger for me to handle. So therefore, and that especially came when it came to forgiving myself. If I couldn't do it, I give it to a higher power. I repent.
Repent, exactly.
And this is where you make an oath. You open a new page with God, and you abstain from, certain things that make you feel the way you do. And the third was gratitude.
Of course.
It was the fastest thing for me personally. There are many methods people use, but for me personally, the combination of these 3 have helped me. The other words they say, when it comes to forgiveness, they say it is what it is, accept it. You cannot change the past,
Exactly.
but you need to forgive yourself. If God is all forgiving, who are we to judge ourselves?
Or judge others, because even
Or-
that holds you back, right?
So, You paid for it once, you paid for it twice, let's say. Well, why a lifetime? When you can really work on improving yourselves, and then you can also help others to achieve the same results. Wouldn't the world be a better place?
Absolutely. It all starts with us.
It all starts with us.
So beautifully said. I know. Let's talk about a little bit of, our subconscious mind, and we spoke about it in previous shows, is really where the heart is, right?
Yes,
So when we experience trauma in our life, it's a memory.
yes.
And if we hold on to those traumas and those memories, and we say, oh, well, it's the past, I'm over it, I'm done, I don't believe that that is enough to
Oh.
clear up those emotions from that trauma.
You see, it's when you say the subconscious is where the heart is, I like to add it's where the rhythm of the heart is.
Of course.
Because the memories that you keep entertaining back and forth, it comes through a form of a rhythm, right? You listen to a piece of music, a beautiful note, and if you're in harmony with that note, you're going to listen to it again and again and again, right? You make it habitual then.
Yeah.
The whole thing is what I'm trying to say is find yourself to adapt as quick as possible to a healing rhythm and repeat it again and again. Over time, whether you're going through that process or not, you find that you're automatically flowing through that rhythm. You see, you look at the ocean, for example. The whole world operates on rhythms. For example, you have an ebb and a flow. You have high tide, you have low tide. There's always a rhythm.
Yeah.
There's a stream of energy, not one, but there are multiple streams, and they're based on frequencies. Now, which stream of frequency are you vibing with? You cannot vibe in any stream unless you tune into the emotions of that vibration. You have to literally be in that vibe, as they say. Feel the vibe.
Absolutely. It matters the vibration in which we're in that actually helps us to really heal as well. Because if we're in a low vibration and we're feeling those emotions of worry, fear, doubt,
Yes.
then that is called a low vibration. But if we're
Yes.
in the state of love, gratitude, that is the highest vibration you can be in. And that really starts setting the stage for your well-being. I know it's hard to, when everything's going wrong, to see what's good for life from life, but there is the opposite in everything. And
You
to,
can see.
shift your emotions, and it could be hard, but only a small shift can change your vibration to begin to feel better, right? Because it's not the
Absolutely.
outside that's going to make you feel better. It's you doing the inner work that's going to make you feel better.
It's 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 whenever you start to seek for something that you'll end up finding. Whatever you seek, you will find. So instead of seeing what's wrong, try to look for things on what's right. And believe me, surely you will find that too. As Buddha stated, if you think you can, if you think you can,
And you're
you're
right.
right.
I remember that. Yeah, so true. It's what you say that becomes reality.
Absolutely, because you're
And
expecting it. Whatever you seek, you expect, and you will find.
and we can do that with our well-being. We can do that
Absolutely.
with our healing,
Absolutely.
and yes, like you mentioned before, there are some outside interventions that can be used, like Reiki, um, Chi, acupuncture,
Meditation. as such.
right? So uh, again, there's stuff out there that I believe that we have the power to harness and do the work from an inner perspective first, and the connection to God, that higher power, is part of the process. It cannot be eliminated.
It cannot be because, when they talk about having a desire or a burning desire to me is like a burning intention. Something like it's so emotionally deep that you tune into with extreme expectation at the same time, right? But how do we ask? I remember Earl stated when he said, "Ask and it shall be given you; seek and ye shall find; knock and it shall be opened unto you. Whoever asketh receiveth, and seeketh findeth, and knocketh opened." But how do we ask? The intelligent way to do so, because we're dealing with infinite intelligence. Now, if everything is in the present moment, we need to see and feel that we are healed this moment. There's no other moment. You say, I wanna feel that I'm healed. Well, feel it now. Regardless of the ailment, it doesn't matter. Tap into the feeling so you can remain on the frequency that you may draw to you all the necessary tools, circumstances, and conditions, the people, the affairs that brings about the healing and physical manifestation. But tap into the emotional side of it first by correcting your thinking first before that.
Can I
It's
tell you
just
that I can relate 100%, because that is exactly what I needed to do when I got diagnosed with cancer. I had to accept that there is no way that it was my time to go. I knew that with all my feelings that I was going to be okay. It was just a more mental power that I had to utilize, and connection to God, and just have the faith that I was going to be okay.
your
And that's what
desire,
got me through it. That's what got
yes,
me through it.
your desire to live
Mhm.
outweighed your fear of death.
But once I understood that,
Yes.
because it's very easy for the outside world, the news, the television, and everything you hear, to influence what you really want for yourself. And once you do the inner work, and again, we call it inner work because it's listening to your voice, what you want, and no one else's voice. Um, I think it's always heard with the prayer, with the right praying. It's your prayers are always answered, and it's the
Absolutely.
fear that really determines the outcome. Determines the outcome.
And I love what you said. You said the word influence. In influence. It's inside of you, right? Who do
Yes,
you spend most of the time with? You. You can influence you.
love that. Love that. And that's why we say the inner healing has to begin with you. It has to begin within us first.
It has to
You
be
know,
that way.
I feel that the doctors, God works through the doctors. The doctors are very helpful, and we need them. But
They're the best ones.
you have to do your part. And we can't just say the doctor's going to heal us. No. No. We have to take part in our own self as well, as part of the healing.
My thing is this: stay spiritually aligned with the divine, let go of everything, and let God do the work. And if you're going to go to the doctor, have faith that you are healed. For that God works through people in order to bring about the desired outcome condition that you seek. But you have to trust the process. Let go and let God. And believe me, if you truly, truly, genuinely hold on with the divine, you won't have any room for fear. If you truly work in harmony with divine laws, always do good, always share love, help mankind around you, you will get that feeling of contentment. Once a human being is born, the soul is deathless. It doesn't die. Your physicality, everyone's physicality goes from one time to the next. Nobody knows how much time we have left. But you as a soul, you live on
Forever.
forever.
So beautifully said. So this comes, we're going to be wrapping it up. And I do want to talk about, we're going to be creating a Facebook group to put these shows in, a Facebook group called Sparking Change for Harmonious Living, for those who missed the show and would like to go into the Facebook group. We're also going to probably do a monthly gathering just for Q&As, and would like for anyone to join us. And if you have any questions about our shows, or you want to ask Ahmed or myself questions, we'll be happy to answer your questions.
I'll be glad to serve anyone. We're here all to serve.
That's right. Well, thank you,
How
everyone.
how can we serve you?
Absolutely. We're here to serve from the heart. And thank you for joining us on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. Until next time, have a good evening. See you then.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living.